Hi, Samantha. How are you? It's good to see you again.
Hi, it's nice to see you again too. I'm doing all right. I've had a very unusual week, but it's been busy. But I've had an issue at my practicum that um, has taken me a little off kilter. But hopefully, we can discuss that today and
Okay.
turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry to hear that you had a difficult time during your practicum. And again, I know last time we met that you had discussed that you had a little bit of a unsettling situation or issue with a supervisor that you had to go through. So I'm sorry
Yeah.
to hear that. Um, what was that moment like for you this week? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I co-facilitate two group therapy sessions, one on each day that I'm there. And so they had given feedback to the supervisor there, my task supervisor, that I'm self-disclosing I'm self-disclosing too much in the session. Um, and so the supervisor, had me do this online training, and it was really eye-opening, but I don't think I was doing the things that were, in the training. Like, I don't think it confused anybody. I was just trying to build rapport because, a lot of the people do not want students. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to make it more comfortable. And I think I've succeeded because the members are receptive to the things I say in the group that aren't self disclosing, that go with the therapy. Um, but it was just, frustrating to me because I have a very strong work ethic. And so, as much as I appreciate the feedback to grow for the future, in that moment, I feel like I'm not doing a good job and I'm going to be marked poorly. And I just
Okay.
feel like um, that I should be quiet and I shouldn't participate. And so
Mm-hmm.
then I become quiet in the group and I don't talk as much
Okay.
as I was.
Okay. Sam, what I would like to do today, if that's okay, is I'd like to use this event and work through a technique called ABC. And what that technique will do is that will help us understand what happens between an event, our thoughts, as well as our reactions. Does that sound okay to you?
That sounds fine.
Okay, awesome. So that first part of the ABC is A, which stands for acting event or the situation that triggered your reaction. So it seems like this week you have described that the group facilitation is kind of that triggering event for you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about those beliefs. You had mentioned that you have a little bit of negative self-talk. That's correct, right? Can you
That's
elaborate a little
correct.
bit more on that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not doing a good job. And then I think that they're gonna, like, when the supervisor evaluates me, they're not gonna evaluate me
Mm-hmm.
positively because I'm making mistakes and um yeah.
Okay, so kind of that fear of failure is really kind of ultimately
Yes.
what it is then. Okay, all right. So in that moment, you believe that your supervisor's evaluation kind of is going to say that you're not good enough as a group facilitator. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So that's really insightful. It sounds like the belief isn't just like a one draft; it kind of connects to a deeper pattern potentially of maybe
Mm.
perfectionism, some self worth. Is that correct?
It could be. Yeah, I guess I've never thought about it that way.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
perfectionism I definitely could see. And then the self-worth I would have to think about a little bit, dig deeper
Okay.
within myself a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so going forward, with this week, I'm going to ask that you focus a little bit on that self-worth. So when you're going through these negative beliefs. Try and think of where maybe that self-worth would fit in with
Okay.
that situation or event. um, so the C stands for consequences. So let's look at what happened next. So what are some consequences, emotions, maybe some physical sensations that you felt around your body, and behaviors that happened after these thoughts regarding the group facilitation?
Well, I feel embarrassed. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they don't call me out in the group, like they didn't say this in front of the whole group or anything, but even so, I feel embarrassed to be around the facilitators.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel fear that I'm gonna keep doing the same thing, keep self-disclosing when I'm not supposed to, um, and as far as my body goes and how I feel that my body, I feel like a nervousness, like a
Mm-hmm.
jittery feeling. Walking into the group where before I was calm and confident,
Mm-hmm.
I have less confidence now.
Right. Okay. I was going to say, so these thoughts are kind of leading to that anxiety feeling, and then
Mm.
that fear, and kind of almost to a point where there's avoidance, because you
Mhm.
feel so uncomfortable going into these groups now with the other group facilitator. Those are very clear observations that you're able to identify, and the ABC pattern shows how a belief can create that constant or continuing loop, even though the original or kind of like starting event was just feedback.
Correct.
Um, so let's challenge that belief a little bit. You said that you feel less confident, you feel a little bit fearful. So let's dive a little bit deeper into that. What is some evidence from your past that you have done quality work in your practicum, or what evidence do you have that might not support that belief that you're incompetent?
Well, the fact that the group members respond to me, um,
Mm-hmm.
and in the one group on Thursday, the one member is always like, "Oh my God, you're giving me so much to think about, and you're so profound in what you say," So,
Mm-hmm.
that the fact that the members are getting information to think about based on the things that I share, um, and I mean, I truly have their best interest at heart, even though, and like for my feeling and thought is that when I self disclose, I'm trying to make a point. I'm not just trying to share my life, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't have any. So I'm in the methadone clinic, and so I don't have any background in addiction. I've never been in addiction. I'm not in recovery. Like I don't have any background in that. And so the thing that I feel is that the only way I can make the point is by using me as the example. Because
Mm-hmm.
anything else, even though I'm learning about addiction, I don't have enough knowledge base yet to, um,
Right. Kind of
you know what I
incorporate.
mean, to kind of tie it into what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But they also, some of them are in addiction based on trauma, which that I do understand.
Okay.
Either for myself or in my last practicum, I did trauma
Mm-hmm.
counseling. So, um,
Nice.
and that's the area that I'd like to go into anyway. So, I've done more research on that than anything else. So, you know,
I like.
maybe,
Hmm?
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. Continue.
Um, so, on the positive side, I do have things to contribute. I just have to not use myself.
No, I I agree with you, and I like, the different things that you are doing to kind of build that rapport and connect with those group members. So I feel that you being able to observe these and show kind of, I see how you are showing, that presence or that support to these group members is very powerful. And I like how you said that you did a lot of research with trauma, because I was going to say, is there a way that maybe we can try to strengthen your knowledge with substance, whether it be kind of doing some researching with different articles to see some symptomology or maybe some thoughts or behaviors to individuals that have gone through substance abuse or are going through treatment for that, so that you can feel a little bit more confident to share information regarding that topic.
Well, I have been doing a lot of research, of course, for the practicum class because you have to write papers and such
Mm-hmm.
for the class. So I have been doing research that way. But of course, like all college students, adult college students who have to work full time, school full time, have family obligation, I'm probably not doing as much research as I could be because of time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I am definitely, doing the research for the class so that, I am learning. And every day I go in, or not every day, but the 2 days a week that I go into the clinic, I'm definitely learning more and more every time. So,
hmm There's also different ways that you can do research. So you don't always have to do like researching an article, reading the article. You could be maybe listening to a podcast, or you could be listening to, maybe a YouTube video while you are on lunch break, or maybe while you're commuting to and from your practicum, perhaps, or from
mm,
school or work. Those are also other options that you can try and include into your routine, because it's very understandable. You're running, you got many different life roles. So it's just trying to find those little mechanisms that will work into our schedule.
and I've been trying to be more intentional about not what I say, but how I say it. So, like, I might not
Mhm.
respond very quickly in the group anymore, only because I have to think through how to make a point without self-disclosing. So, I'm more I'm more in the mindset. I've started to be more intentional about how I say things too.
That's awesome. That's great. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like you've already started,
Mhm.
your homework and reflection yourself, which is amazing. Let's try and
Mhm.
do that a little bit further this week, kind of recognizing that self-worth that we talked about
Mhm.
earlier, as well as maybe trying to include some other different examples that you can provide in groups, so that you're not having to think too much before responding in group or anything. But you've done the hard work already. You've already started to recreate that belief and kind of start with that process. So that's a great job.
Yeah, because
Amazing.
if I didn't do that, I would have just clammed up and I wouldn't talk, which isn't good because I'm being evaluated, on how well I can, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
give interventions or do a therapeutic relationship with the clients. So I didn't want to just like close up like I am known to do or can do in those situations. So I wanted to just start and still speak, but like show that I'm being more intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's great work.
thank you.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Samantha, I'm going to give you this homework, and I'm going to hope that you have a better week now coming up, and we will see each other next session, and we'll review what you have thought about and done during the week, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.